Hello everybody, Glass Update here, and today I have for you a Kill Team battle report. On the one hand, we have the brand new from Kill Team Chalnath expansion, Adepta Sororitas Novitiate Kill Team, and then on the other side, we have the Heretic Astartes Kill Team. If you want to know more about the Novitiate Kill Team, because of course they are brand new, check out my video, which may or may not be linked on the screen right now, where I go over them and give you my general thoughts on them. I haven't done that for the Chaos Kill Team, but I'm taking 2 teams of Marines, so it's 6 Marines as opposed to any cultists. As you can see on screen, we're playing the Loot and Salvage mission, and throughout this video you're going to see some custom tokens. These are tokens that I'm still trying out before I do a review on them, but if you like the look of them, they're a very interesting mixture of a combined order system and wound tracker. They work pretty well, but proper review coming later for them. In regards to format, this battle report is going to be almost exclusively me talking over the top of pictures and the occasional video. I hadn't originally planned to do video for the dice, but my dice were so crazy at some points, I felt that I absolutely had to show you these were real rolls. Anyway, let's get into the kill teams. First up, we have the new Novitiate Kill Team. My Novitiate Superior is taking a plasma pistol and power weapon, and then I'm taking a Penitent, Pronatus, Exactor, Relicarius, Hospitaller, Preceptor, Dialogus, Duelist, and Condemner. What this basically means is I'm not taking any of the standard autogun sisters, and I'm also not taking any of the Flamer Purgatus sisters. Apart from that, I'm taking all of the normals. I would consider this to be a pretty standard loadout for the Novitiate Kill Team. I would tell you their equipment, but none of them use it, so it doesn't actually make any difference. For TAC Ops, I went with the Security archetype, and from that deck I removed Central Control and Damage Limitation, and replaced them with Consecrate Ground and Glory to the Martyrs. Over with the Traitor Space Marine Kill Team, the Heretic Astartes, I took 2 Chaos Space Marine Fire Teams, which basically means I took a Heavy Bolter and a Plasma Gun, and my leader has a Plasma Pistol and a Power Fist. The reason I went with the Power Fist in this instance is because I'm up against a team that mainly has 7 wound models, which means my crit damage of 7 will one-shot them. Plasma guns are always a go-to, you should always take them. I would never not take a plasma gun if I have the option. Then I have 2 Chaos Space Marines with their chainsword and their bolt pistol, and I have 1 with a bolt gun. I figure as the enemy team is going to favour getting in up close, I would punish them for it with my chainswords, as it will guarantee a kill in 2 hits, whereas if I went with fists, it is possible that if I don't get a crit, I will need 3 hits to kill them. And I didn't take an icon bearer because I didn't have one painted. Otherwise, you should always take an icon bearer before you take a standard Chaos Space Marine. As you see, both my plasma and my leader and my heavy bolter are all on an engage order, because I was able to make sure that the Condemner, who I knew could get up on top of the vantage point as they were the defender and picked the side of the vantage point, wouldn't be able to see me over there. And everybody on this side, as you can see, is placed very conservatively and is on a conceal order and unable to attack me. Even if they use their infiltrate from the scouting step to flip one of them, they only have auto pistols, so I'm not too scared. And this is the rest of the board. Note that the central building is a punishing vantage point from the new Chalnath Kill Team rules. Getting straight into the game, first thing so you know, on all of the dice, if there is any symbol, that means it's a 6. Otherwise, everything else is standard pips on the dice. As you can see, these sisters are using the blue dice with the white pips, and they opted to be able to change one of their orders in the first turn, whereas the Chaos Space Marines decided they wanted to dash. They decided to dash up with their leader. Go into the first turn, and neither of the teams actually use a ploy at this point. However, we do reveal TAC Ops, which means that the sisters declare seize ground on the central building. Do note that because of the new rules in Chalnath, this building is the only vantage point that is actually a punishing vantage point. The other regular Octarius vantage points are just standard vantage points. I wanted to try and make the centre something valuable for both people to go for. And Chaos Space Marines declare the TAC Op challenge in the opening turning point with my leader into the Novitiate Penitent, That is the person with the really big sword thingy called a Penitent Eviscerator. I figure she's only useful if she's attacking me, so I'll force her to attack me and kill her. Starting the game, as you can see, I have my special tokens here from the Art of War. The way these work is pretty simple. You can see there's the order on the right, and anytime you see that nice, bright, very clear to see white on the other side, that means they haven't received an order yet. After they've moved, I flip that to the other side. First things first, the Dialogist decides, who is essentially just the comms the Condemner next to her so that she will be able to move up, shoot, and dash back down, and then moves up close to objective number 3. Now, I made a very interesting mistake in deployment when it came to the sisters, and so the Heavy Bolter is about to punish me for that. Instead of going for the point, he makes a normal move to get up close to the central building, and would you look at that, completely out in the open, I forgot that one can be flanked, and that duelist is looking to be a dead duelist. Chaos shoots and hits 3 times, and the sister defends 2 of them, no problem. I then use my faith dice to do a reroll, and I manage to pass, and the duelist ends up taking no damage, which I was honestly shocked by. It was at this point that I decided I needed to record all of my dice rolls, because there are some things in here that are going to make you scratch your head. Sure enough, here's the duelist, not dead. The banner bearer had moved up, and I used my infiltrate at this point to swap her order to an engage. Possibly a bit of a rash move, as she only has a standard auto pistol, but you know what, I saw a shot on the Heavy Bolter. Yes, he's going to get cover, yes, I'm shooting with an auto pistol, but let's go for it. Just very quickly on screen here, you'll see that the sister rolled 2 crits and 2 hits, and then the Marine failed one of their saves. This would have been a pretty stunning roll, but it was so crazy that I decided if I just show that, people are going to think I'm lying to try and help the sisters. So instead, I spent the next 6 minutes rolling dice until I got a comparable roll. And that's what you're seeing here. The Chaos Marine ends up taking 5 damage. One of the Marines moves up and scores the first victory point of the game. The Novitiate Pronatus now does an interesting thing, and I'm calling this out, even though she just moves, it's relatively boring, but she has a raised relic action, which means you gain 2 faith points, or if you do it when you are within white of the center of an objective, you gain 3 faith points. She also has an ability called Relic Seeker, which basically means you can do a mission action for free. So on this particular mission, I moved her up so that she was within 2 of the center of the objective, and then, as I was able to do that for free, I had the AP left to use Raise Relic, which gave me 3 faith points back. You'll notice that I'm within circle of the center of the objective, which is great for Raise Relic, but on Loot and Salvage you have to be within triangle of the objective to perform the mission action. This is only a minor issue, as she did have the movement to do this. If I had realised my mistake, the game would have played out the same, as you will see coming up soon. But this was just a cool way of deciding to move first, then use her special abilities to give myself faith points and do something for free. As you can see, I'm up to 4 faith points now. My Condemner, who has been given +1 AP, remember, moves up, fires at the Heavy Bolter, does have Mortal Wound and P1, so that crit's very useful for me, and the Heavy Bolter saves 1 for cover, and fails the other. It's only 5 damage, but I'll take it. Mistake number 2 on the sister positioning. As you can see, my plasma gunner is about to shoot the Novitiate Preceptor. How is this possible? Well, due to the FAQ changing, you no longer receive the benefit of cover from a model that isn't in the attacker's line of sight. The model in front of the Preceptor there is not within the attacker's line of sight and is over 1 inch from cover. My mistake. So this is looking pretty bad for the sisters. Plasma gun isn't hot, but completely fluffs it. And the sister saves it. Sometimes that's just how rolls go. And that's it. Everybody else has just moved up. Some have grabbed points, some have been shot. Either way, nothing else was particularly noteworthy. The sisters haven't scored, whilst the Marines have scored a pretty nice 3 from the primary. At this point it's expected because this is a 3 APL team, so they are able to play loot and salvage very effectively. I genuinely think that loot and salvage favours the 3 APL teams far more than any other mission. And as the sisters player, I made sure to mentally allow the chaos to essentially have the first turn and not stress myself out too much about the VP difference. My leader gets an amazing charge off. I'm really excited to see what this power weapon can do. This is exciting times. 2 crits and a hit into a complete fluff. As you can tell by the camera movement, I'm stunned. Regardless, that is a dead Marine. In fairness, this was going to be a dead Marine anyway with that roll. Didn't really matter what he ended up rolling, as I got 2 crits. The Dialogus shuffles up just a little bit, and instead of grabbing the point herself, which seems to be very secure for her right now, uses her, I'm going to call it her comms ability. It's called Stirring Rhetoric, but comms ability, to give the leader +1 APL in this turning point, so that in the next turning point she can place Stirring Rhetoric on a different model, maybe even herself, and making the leader very effective at killing stuff next turn. Next up, the Heavy Bolter decides to rain down some hell on whatever the relic girl is, and hits pretty hard, not gonna lie. That crit turns it to a P1. That's not even worth rolling when you only have 7 health, but why not, right? I save 1 for cover, P1, so I only get to roll 1 more. I save 2, but that's still a full 7 damage. However, she is next to the medic, and the medic keeps her alive. At which point, the Heavy Bolter has to decide whether to shoot the model on 1 hit point, or shoot the Preceptor Mace Girl again. Shoots the Preceptor Mace Girl. It's an absolutely devastating hit. There's actually, on another P1, there's basically no way to save this. I roll anyway, I save 2, I'm still dead. Oh, you know what? Terrible commentary from me there. At the beginning of turning point 2, if it's not obvious, the Chaos Space Marines had used malicious volleys, and so that's why he was able to fire twice. The sisters did not use a ploy, as I wasn't quite sure what to do with them yet. Brand new team and all that. Over to the Condemner again without the +1 AP, so just moves up and remains concealed, but luckily she can still fire due to her having the silent rule on her crossbow. It's good, and that 6 is very useful, makes it P1 and Mortal Wound 2. And I save 1 for cover with the Heavy Bolter. P1, so I only get 1 more roll, and that removes 2, which means I'm only actually doing mortal wound damage of 2, and then 2 more, so that's 6 damage total. Which means the Heavy Bolter has 1 wound left. The Space Marine with the bolter had moved up and takes a shot. It's not terrible. When you're within circle of an enemy, it doesn't matter if they have cover. I CP reroll, but I miss. I really wanted to get this kill, as you can tell. I then struggle to find the 2, but I manage it. Lovely. Now that only saves the crit, and that means 6 damage goes through, because bolters are a 3-4 damage weapon. This means I don't quite kill the sister. I had been wanting to activate on the point to get another VP. Instead, malicious volleys, I'm firing again. I only need to do 2 damage. She has to save all 3 dice, otherwise she's dead. 4-up save. She manages it. Outrageous. I know. What can you do? I make 50-50s 100% of the time. My banner bearer fights back, who is injured, so is going to need 4s to hit. Only gets 2 crits now. I spend 2 of my faith points to reroll 2 of them. I'm needing 4s. 50-50, which I don't make 100% of the time. So it's just 2 crits. The Marine saves one and takes one. This Marine gets the charge on the leader. They attack at the same time. 2 hits and a crit to a hit and a crit. Now, it takes me a long time to figure out how exactly I should work this out. In the end, I decide it's just better for them to hit each other because the leader is going to die to 2 hits whether normal or not. I spend the faith dice to reroll. It doesn't help me. Clearly, there was no point in me doing that. Long story short, the leader dies. Never getting to use her +1 from the Dialogus. Truly bad days. However, this does mean I can use Glorious Martyrdom. Very nice. And also reveal Faction Tackle 3 Glory to the Martyrs, which is if I lose another model on this point, I score a VP. Unfortunately, I don't think I will, but it doesn't look like I'm dying on points anywhere else. The cluster of sisters here move up. The cluster of sisters at the back of the board finally make a move instead of hanging around waiting for the leader to get within charge distance. The Whippy sister whips a +1 APL onto the duelist, and the big chainsaw lady that is the target of the challenge stays at the back hoping to be able to countercharge the leader. Well, the leader is happy to take that duelist bait and activates on the point, getting a VP, charges the duelist, and just needs a single crit. As mentioned at the beginning, that Power Fist is 7 damage on the crit. 5 dice. It's, yeah, that's a crit. And that is a dead sister. There's not even a point rolling the sister's dice. That's a dead sister, yeah, good. Here's a close-up shot of just how dead those other 2 sisters are after the dominating Chaos Leader charged in there. One thing that's a little bit interesting to work with whilst playing against the sisters is I'm not at all scared of their auto pistols as a Marine faction, so I'm being very loose with my movement. Finally, our big chainsaw girl decides to chicken out of fighting the leader as I do the maths and realise that a single crit will kill her, and I can't kill him in a single crit. So with her +1 APL, I charge the model that's already wounded. I get 2 big crits, 2 hits, 1 hit actually, and that is a very dead Marine, luckily. He will get 1 hit through on me, but no big deal. I strike with a crit, he strikes with a hit, I strike with a crit and kill. Easy peasy. Taking advantage of that frankly mismaneuver, the plasma gunner moves up, takes a shot, and almost fluffs it. This is savable at this point, but I don't. That is therefore a dead person. At the end of the battle, we take a quick zoom around the battlefield. At this point, the sisters, although I've had fun playing them, I'm ready to call it, as I realise I can't win, but we play out the final turn anyway. For the Marines, I realise that I've made quite the misstep, because I got a little bit too excited and my plasma gunner ruined scoring challenge. It is what it is, it's fine, the Marines are clearly going to win anyway. At the start of turning point 3, I finally use some CP and play Defenders of the Faith. Straight away, start of the firefight phase. For each model within circle of each objective that they are next to, I can both shoot and fight if they have the ability to do that. I go for it with my banner bearer again, who is able to shoot at this heavy bolter one more time, only needs to do 1 damage. I'm feeling lucky. This is a punishing vantage point though, and I completely fluff the roll. Now, how do we get around that? Well, we spend 4 faith points to reroll the entire roll. This probably isn't the best use of faith points, but you know what? I'll take it. Full rerolls, baby. That's what faith points are. Let's do it. Now we're cooking with gas. We only need to do 1 damage. There's no way he can save it. That's a dead heavy bolter. As you can see, I consider rolling, but don't. There you go. And the Condemner goes to shoot one of the Marines on a point. messes up pretty hard. I spend a CP to use a tactic that allows the Condemner specifically to reroll all of their dice, and I make it really worth my while. Didn't need to do this much damage, but that's a very dead Marine. There's not really a point in rolling the dice, but I do anyway. Whippy Girl uses the whip, which is range 3. She did have to move first, but uses the whip. Rolls pretty decently there, hits with 4 of the dice. It's only a 2-3 damage weapon, but it is lethal 5 up. Pretty decent roll, saves the crit, saves the normal, so it's only actually 4 damage. Well, leader's not going to take that, so does a massive charge all the way around to the other side. This is a big play now, guys. Not that the Marines need to do a big play, but that's what we're doing. Just needs a single crit, gets it. That's a 1-shot, no need to roll any of the other dice. But I do it, I guess. I don't know why. There you go. 7 damage. There's nothing you can do against that when you're on the charge. That is a dead sister. Now, why did I charge all the way around to the other side? Fair question. Oh, look at that. So that is a charge, a fight, and now a shoot. I only need to do 2 damage here. A single hit. I hit with all 4 dice. Therefore, this is a dead sister. There's nothing you can do, even though I roll amazingly well. Like, even though plasma pistols have AP1 and I forgot the AP1, that's still a dead sister. So yeah. Now, I then figure out that I can play the Icon of Purity's ability, which is when somebody within range dies, they can make, on a 4-up, they can make a free shooting attack. That includes herself. She gets to make a shoot at the leader, and that's 3 hits? No, it's 4 hits, because she was originally wounded. I reroll 1, I should have rerolled 2, but I don't know why I didn't, to be honest. Anyway, 3 hits, including a crit. Chaos Leader doesn't care. Takes 2 damage from a normal, but that's it. Finally, the Plasma has moved up and shall have his revenge on the Condemner. Hits 3 times, including a crit. It's AP1. This is probably a dead... yeah, that is a dead Condemner. Needed to save 2 of them at least. Was unable to. End of turning point 3 there. I believe it's at this point that I officially give up, because there's just nothing to be done. Especially since the sisters have only managed to score 3 points on VP, and they are now down 7 models. And more concerningly, the Chaos have scored 10 on VP. And sure enough, I call the game there before the final turning point, because there's not really a huge amount that can be done either way. And these are the survivors from the 2 teams. We have the leader and the plasma gunner, who were the 2 that went up the left hand side and actually killed all 4 of those sisters. They did really well there. These 2 definitely held their own. Everybody else, in fairness, scored more points than these 2 on the team, but hey, they did what they needed to do. It was a team effort. And then on the sisters' side, the Sisters of the Golden Mask, if you will, these were the only 3 left alive. I will say that I actually really liked the Novitiate Pronatus. That's the one holding the chalice there. That raised relic and the ability to do a free mission action actually came in really handy in this game. The medic also did what the medic does, which kept one of the models alive and then used the medic ability to take them back up to 6 wounds. And the Dialogus, I misplayed with Dialogus. I should have had her up among the big blob of sisters. That was on me, fair enough. Either way, a good learning game. And even though the Chaos Space Marines, the Heretic Astartes there, completely ran away with the score, I think the final score was 10-5. No, sorry, it was 11-5. Despite that, despite the crushing defeat the sisters just received there, I actually came away from this game more positive on the sisters than when I went in. I think this was just a lot of poor play by me, And if I really wanted to dig in to the sisters, I think they'd be a really good faction to do that with. They did some really interesting stuff. I definitely think, odd as it might sound, I'm probably going to end up playing them a little bit more. I like the Tau team. I prefer the paint job on the Tau team. That's coming up soon for you. But actually, I think the Tau are going to be really strong. And you know me, I like to stay away from really strong teams. Basically, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Tau, therefore I would probably rather go with the sisters. That's all I'm saying. I definitely need to rethink their tac ops. I don't think I scored at all on their tac ops. That was obviously, I picked the wrong thing there. I just need to think more about how I can run a 7 wound melee team. That's not something I've run before. I haven't done Drukhari, for example. I haven't ever done Stealers. I haven't done Commandos, really. So this was me trying to get into a new style of play. And I think these are really interesting because I think their acts of faith are really strong. Very cool. Anyway, guys, this has been Glass Half Dead. I hope you've enjoyed this. I did my absolute best to get you a battle report as close to release day as I possibly could. I know this isn't quite the cinematic spectacle that a lot of people want, but I did what I could. Sad Hammer, unfortunately, that's mainly because I still don't want to subject other people to my filming regime, which is horrifying. So I hope you've enjoyed. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. If you like what you've seen, please a like, a comment, a subscribe, and you know I have a Patreon if you want to financially support me, which will ultimately lead to me doing more, probably battle reports, I'll be honest. Ideally even better quality battle reports, but let's not go too far, okay? Let's not promise things I can't deliver. This has been Glass Half Dead. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've had a good day and continue to have a good day. Goodbye.